Going live. I'm gonna give it a minute or so, see who all joins us. But whether you are here live, whether you are watching the replay, please do not hesitate to drop any questions you have in the chat. I will catch them at some point and respond. But definitely send me a wave if you can hear me, if you see me, all the things. Let me know you are here. Let me know I'm not alone. But send a wave, send a hey girl, hey, and I will make sure to respond. Okay. So I am excited because all week I am just, gushing over some of my favorite templates. So inside of my goodie shop, I have Airtable templates, Dubsado templates, ClickUp templates, productivity templates, you name it. Okay. So again, whether you are here live or watching the replay, please don't hesitate to ask questions about these templates. But this week, all week, I am diving into a few of my faves. So yesterday, we talked all about my partner hub, helping you guys to make sure you have referral and affiliate partners sell for you, right? Like making the selling process easy as possible for you and for them, right? So I'll make sure to link that video below as well. But the partner hub also includes my own hype machine GPT. So it makes writing copy or swipe copy easy. So whether it's emails, threads, Instagram posts, direct DMs, whatever. Today, I think this is probably my favorite hub, but my support ticket tool, I'm going to show you all the things behind the scenes with that. Tomorrow, we're going to go into the BizOps Hub. So tracking leads, tracking availability, tracking capacity, all the things. Thursday, I got a new hub for y'all. It's my content and launch hub. So we are ditching those long Google Docs of yours that you are tracking all of your launch emails and Instagram posts and all the things. We're not doing that no more. You're going to move it into Airtable. And then, of course, I could not leave Dubsado out. So on Friday, we are getting spooky and diving into my Dubsado DIY course to really help you reshape your client experience heading into the new year. Okay. So again, at any time, drop comments, questions in the chat, but I'm going to hop right into this template. But first, if we have not met, I'm Ashley, your favorite systems pro, the owner, CEO, the boss of solution integrators, and the lover of all things keeping shit simple. Okay. So I help support lean, solo business owners, agency owners, you name it, in really creating systems that support them, support the way that they want to run their business and the way that they want to grow their businesses. Right. So with my support ticket tool, I'm going to show you really kind of the first entry point for your potential clients. So if you are a done for you service provider, so I am talking to my brand and web designers, my copywriters, my coaches, my digital marketing agencies, my consultants, my ad specialists, my strategists, you name it, right? If you have clients that submit questions, revisions, issues, or even if you have a one-to-many program, right? If you have a membership or a group program and you want folks to submit hours or submit curriculum or submit feedback, this support requests tool can do that. So this is a very basic ass form that's included in the template. But again, it makes it easy for you to customize on your own, right? If we were on a paid plan, you could add, a header image and your logo, right? You can make this fully branded. I personally, and I can actually pull up my own form. But I personally, instead of having folks enter their first and last names, I have a dedicated support window. So inside of my Ops Hub, which I'll show you tomorrow, I have all of my client projects, their start dates, and their end dates. On my support ticket form, they have to select their name from a drop down. If your name is not there, that means your support window has ended, right? Again, that's just how I like to run things. But for you, if you are okay with folks entering in their first name, last name, email, you can do that here, right? I actually removed urgency from mine, but you can have, hey, how pressing is this issue? What type of issue is this? Describe the issue. Give me your login info. Upload screenshots. Provide a video, right? So these are kind of my guides or my recommendations for y'all in terms of how you can request information from your clients. But again, think about the most common things that your people are asking for, right? So I will share my own support request form. So it's a little more branded. I'm providing more instructions of like, hey, use this form for these things, right? They select their name from this drop down. If you're not here, your window has expired, friend. Right? Um, Selecting the issue. How can I help? Again, screenshots, Loom videos, all the things that will help me to respond as fast as possible to your request, right? Couple other things that you might want to include. It could be, maybe like what tool does this impact, right? Is this Dubsado? Is it Zapier? Is it Airtable? Is it ClickUp? Is it Honeybook? Right, whatever, right? Is this a launch issue? Is this a revision request to your first draft or to your second draft, right? You have that ability to get as specific as you want to or as open-ended as you want to. I recommend getting specific just so that your people can submit exactly what they need and so that you can provide a response in the fastest time, right? But this is an example of the form in action, right? So, okay, what happens after they submit the form, right? So once the form is submitted, it'll come inside of Airtable. So this is an example of this is the actual interface view of the base. But once a request comes in, it'll come in under a new status. It'll have their information that they submitted, and then it will also give, type of request, the issue description, etc. I'm actually going to fill this out real quick and then push the button so you can see it in action. So I have a revision request. I'm going to say updates to my webpage copy, and I'm going to submit it. And then now that that's submitted, I'm just going to, let's say we can click away and come back, see if, and it's in there. So you can see now Ashley Tyndall submitted this request. She said it was fairly urgent. And then her description was, hey, I need updates to my webpage copy, right? And this was the type of request. Now, what I can do is simply scroll down under support response and internal notes. I can say, okay, this was for, these are internal. So the things with the little hazard are internal things. I like to use these as a way to say, like, okay, maybe if I'm getting a lot of questions from people on this same topic, maybe I need to update my offboarding materials, or maybe I need to create a YouTube video on it, right? Or some sort of way for me to say, hey, there's a gap in my process if I'm getting a lot of these types of questions, right? So I like to use the little hazards as a way to say, yep, okay, this was for, this was a tool issue, form revision, whatever. I don't know, she didn't like it. So I'm gonna fix it, right? Whatever. And then, selecting the tool that's involved. Because again, if there are common tools that I am getting lots of requests for, I want to make sure that I can adjust that accordingly, right? So then everything with a green check mark is potentially client facing. So I can say, hey, Ashley, copy has been updated. You have one remaining revision, right? If I want, I can drop the Loom video here. If I want to attach a image, I can, or I can reshare the link to the Google Doc here, right? Once I do that, I click request completed, and it's off. It goes away, right? Because it's no longer open. Now I'm gonna hop over to the automations to show you what the client would see. So when I submitted my form, I got an email, and I don't even know if I have these But I would receive an email that just lets me know, hey, we received your request, all the things, right? Once I click that button that, hey, the request has ended or the request is completed, this email goes out. And then it'll update the status of that request as well to complete. So here's the email that went out. Hi, Ashley. In your recent request, you said these things. So the email itself is already templatized for y'all, right? So I've written the email, I've added the placeholders so that the client can say, hey, this is what I requested. I requested updates to my web copy. Let me just pull up the actual email for y'all so you can see that. But the client's able to say, yep, I requested updates to my email copy. And then from here, hey, this was my response. Everything's been updated. You have one remaining request. If you have any questions, would like to submit another request, you can do so here, right? So this automation is already set up for y'all. Y'all don't have to do nothing. It's set up. Emails here, placeholders are here. It'll send it out. Now, maybe instead of completing the request, you had additional questions for your client, right? And so you're like, well, Ashley, we still gotta go back and forth on emails. What I'm gonna do is move that request back to new and then come back to the interface so that you guys can see what would happen if, you needed additional information. So here, I'm going to go back down to my support response area. And then instead of sending this, I'm going to type into my additional info requested. And I'm going to say, hey girl, not really sure what it is you want. Can you elaborate? Right? Now, instead of clicking request completed, I'm going to select I need additional info. What this will do is trigger a separate automation that emails Ashley that says, hey, in your support request, you asked for updates to your web copy, but I'm not really sure what it is you want, right? Can you elaborate for me? Can you give me more information? And then it's going to put her in a pending status. What the client receives is actually a link to an area or a form to respond to that request. So they still are not having to send an email. They're not having, you're not having to hop back in your inbox. You guys aren't going back and forth. This is still streamlined in a way so that your clients can simply click this link, which this would come in an email. Ashley can say, hey girl, not really sure what it is you want. Can you elaborate? Oh, yeah, actually, my hero section wasn't the greatest. I'd love for updates to that, right? I can respond. I click submit. It's submitted, right? Okay, well, Ashley, how do I see their response? I'm glad you asked. If we come back over to the interface, it's all there for me. So if I scroll back down, I'm able to see Ashley's response right here. So I can see, this was her response. This is what I asked. It's all here. Okay, cool. She didn't like the hero section. I can go update it. I can go back up here to support response. Hey, I updated the hero copy. I click request completed and I'm done. So at no point did I have to go to my email inbox to do a thing, right? I'm able to manage all of my support requests here. I can be notified, of course, once the forms are submitted. Airtable can send me a notification, but I actually add a step in my automations to have a ClickUp task created, right? So if you're a ClickUp user, Asana has something similar where you can have a email for your list, right? So in my automation, once the client receives an email that, hey, I received your support request, I have another send email that goes to my ClickUp list with the request, the name of the request, the due date, and then a link to this interface, right? Again, I'm never going in my inbox. I'm not in Voxer. I'm not in Slack. I'm not in Google Chat. I'm not in the DMs. Everything is managed here. Now, well, what if I want my clients to be able to see all of their requests and make sure they're not submitting a whole bunch of things that they already submitted for? Glad you asked. In this template, I also include an interface that is my client support summary. So again, what you can do, this is very similar to like the Partner Hub example that I shared yesterday, but you can duplicate this per client. Now, you can share a read-only view to this interface. You do have to be on a paid Airtable plan to share read-only interfaces, but you can duplicate this per client, rename it, drop some info, and then here I like to, kind of link out to some other stuff. So maybe I want to link out to, my I don't know, my referral program, or I want to, slide a little upsell in. So at the end of us working together, here's how you can continue to get help, right? But these are all things that you could link out here. Or here, I mentioned pitch to keep the girlies coming back, right? We want those repeat clients and referrals. But these are things that you could link out here. But hey, if I want to see what my requests are, I can click here and it's going to take me to all of Ashley's requests, right? These are all my tests. But I can see, Ashley, help me. Hey, I got this updated. Let me know if you have questions. Cool, right? Like I can see the questions that I've submitted that are still open. I can see the questions that are still pending. And then I can see a history of everything that I've completed. And these are just for my requests, right? And so this is in this template. This is in this interface view. It's all client facing. But this is another way for you to add a level of transparency, right? Again, if you are any sort of done for you service provider, if you have a support phase, a launch phase, if you are, have programs, memberships, things like that, this is perfect. So, as I mentioned yesterday, everything in the goodie shop, including this template here, is going on sale on Monday. So November 3rd through the 15th, everything in the shop is going to be 50% off. So all my Airtable templates, my Dubsado templates, my ClickUp, all the things are 50% off. And the thing that, I'm going to toot my own horn, but the great thing about the goodie shop is I'm always going to include a goodies guarantee. What does that mean? If you have questions anytime in the future after you purchase this template, you can submit them to me. If you're like, Ashley, I don't get how this works. Or hey, can you, elaborate on X, Y, and Z, right? I'm always going to send a Loom video or, provide you with some sort of support because I want you to actually use these templates, right? These templates are very easy to set up. The, one-click add to your account. I'll include, hey, I recommend you start here. They include videos. But if you ever have questions, you can submit them. Now, you might be saying, okay, Ashley, this sounds good, but I don't have the time or the energy to set this up myself. Great, because I can set it up for you. So when you snag the template, you can also select for me to implement or install the template for you as well, okay? Again, starting Monday, everything in the goodie shop, including this template here, is going to be on sale. I'm going to drop in the chat the link to this link here. If you are not on my email list and you want to be notified of when the sale goes live, just go ahead and sign up there and you will be the first to know. Of course, if you guys have any questions at all, anything about the templates, anything about the shop, yes, it's DIY. Aaron, you can DIY it, or I've had people that just been like, look, I got things to do. I'm preparing for my own sale. I don't have time to do this. Can you do it for me? But whatever questions you guys have, drop them in the chat. You can come over to Threads or Instagram, hop in my DMs, solution.integrators, and I will answer any other questions you guys have. But thank y'all for joining me. I'll be back tomorrow, same time, same place, to give you a behind the scenes of my Ops Hub. But until then, I'll see y'all later.